completed lesson 1. Let's go on to lesson 2 now, and let's see what it wants us to do. Alright, essentially we're going to be taking two pictures and combining together so that they look like this. I'm going to click on the link, tell it to allow, and I'm going to follow the instructions and see what it wants me to do. Okay, here are my two pictures. And I'm going to move this over a little bit so you can see essentially what I'm doing. Okay, I'm in Photoshop. I'm going to close out lesson 1, so where I just have a blank screen. I'm going to take this graphic, get the black selection tool, drag and drop. When you do that and drag and drop, it puts them in here, and we can move them around to where they need to go. Okay, so there's my two graphics. Okay, now I'm going to pull the instructions back over where we can view them and see what it is that we're supposed to do. Okay, here's my couples. They're together. I've dragged them over. They're dropped in. Go away, I don't like you. And they're now two separate layers. So I have my two layers. See, there's the two layers. Now, on that first layer where they're just together, change the opacity to 70. The reason for this is he wants you to see how when you change the opacity makes it see-through. It's not so tight or strong of a graphic. So if I click right here, and I change it to 70, see how you can see through it now? And it's see-through. It's like a blending option. Now we're not going to leave it at 70. We just want you to know that that's a way that you can do that if you needed to. Alright, let's go into step 2. Now step 2 says you hit the erase on your keyboard and hit the left bracket key a couple of times to soften it. And you're going to go through and blend the two parts together so that you have something that looks like this. Now, there's many different things we can do with this one. What I'm essentially really going to do is I'm going to show you the easiest way that I've found when I'm working with things. Keyboard works for me sometimes it doesn't. I'm a visual person, so I need to go to erase. So I'm going to click eraser. I'm going to go to the eraser tool. I'm going to come right up here and I'm going to look. Here's my size, my diameter, and here's the different types of erasers that I can pick from. And I want something soft and fuzzy. I don't want it to be hard, so I'm going to go to 100. I also don't want it to be really strong. See how it's really, really strong when it's going through? Undo eraser. I'm going to make the opacity like 70 or 60, play with it. Now as I erase, it's still erasing, but when I erase on her, it didn't erase it strongly. Look, see? When I erase on her, it erases, but it blends. It doesn't make it look really strong. So I'm just going to erase in. I'm going to keep erasing so I get rid of the white lines so I get it like I want it. I want it to look nice and pretty. We may need to go in and do some touch-up on some different things. Maybe I want to erase that. Oops, no. See, I like it better with that there. And they look like they go together. Now, I don't really kind of like this white that's around the edge here. So I'm going to go get my crop function. And I'm going to crop in around them. And now it looks a lot better. And I can send this to the couple and have them look at it. And most couples are going to look at this and go, ooh, it's pretty. We took the two and we put them together and we blended them, and they look like one. And it really wasn't that hard, was it? It wasn't that complicated. Now, if you go through and you read the lessons, they'll show you some more with the layer mask. How do you go and add a layer mask? How do you set it and do it? And all these lovely different things. Go ahead and go through them if you want to, but we've already done the most simplest thing. We blended them and put them together. Now the only good thing about the layer mask is if I erased and did something to it, I'm not messing with the original photo. That's the best thing about the layer masks when you go through and you read them, and that's one of the reasons why he's showing them to you. You don't mess the original graphic up. So you go through and look, and he shows how you painted it and how I blended them together, and that's fine. You want to go through every one of the steps, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to stick to the one that I have here because it looks like it looks nice, and I'm happy. I have my original graphics that I could use still. So then I would save this one. Again, Photoshop. I'm going to call this one lesson 2, and I'm going to call it wedding so that I'll remember what it is. And there we go. That's it. Congratulations.